What we're covering today is dynamic filters, reporting, and data preview during template design. It's something that, one of these, both these features that we're going to be highlighting today are two things that I'm really, really excited about because it's things, dynamic filters have been a long time coming for Documents CorePak, and the data preview was just a nice surprise feature that's, if you guys have, if there's anybody out there who has been, developing templates and knows kind of like, how to, mapping fields and things of that nature, and then going and testing your templates. This feature you're really, really going to love. It's really going to help you out. And that's really brings me into the first thing that I want to talk about is the data preview. And basically what the data preview is it allows you to show samples during your template design. So basically it's just a setting in Documents CorePak here for the tree view that allows you to take a sample record, okay, and then allows you to put that actually into, you'll see it in your tree view. You'll see, what the field actually contains from your sample record. I'll get into that in more detail once we get into the demo, but just kind of giving you the highlights here. You know what I'm saying? It's just a nice setting. Pick your test record, and then you'll see that actually in where you're going to actually pick your fields from. The next piece that we're going to cover today is something that is, we've kind of talked about it here. If you've been on these webinars before, it's something we've talked about now for a good time, and it's actually like here now. It's dynamic filtering and advanced reporting. And basically what dynamic filtering does is it allows you to pass dynamic information into the data query from your template. Some of the sources that you can use there are attributes from, from a field value. Or we've also added in where you can do user-defined values from the Documents CorePak dialog. If you're familiar with the user prompts feature, this is something that you can use. So you can put in things like you can see here. And also what we're going to do today in the demo is like a date range, right? So you can actually, pull data from a selected date range. It's really, again, something we'll go into. Speaking of which, the demo. Today, what we're going to be showing is the configuration of the data preview settings for our template. We're going to do an overview of setting up a dynamic filter, how you kind of do that, where you kind of find this information from. And we're going to show you what it's like to do reporting using a dynamic filter. Why is a dynamic filter important? And I've got a little demo for you that to show you there. So let's kind of jump right into it here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Documents CorePak here. This is a template that I've been working on called Clint's Awesome Opportunity Report. One of the things that as I'm doing this, as you can see here, if you're familiar with Documents CorePak, these are my fields here that I can actually insert. Let's go ahead and turn on the data preview feature so you can actually kind of see what this does. As you can see here, this is just like, these are just fields that are on my opportunity record, right? I have no idea what's in there unless I'm actually viewing the record itself. No idea what's actually in those fields. But what I can do now is I can come down here to this little setting here, and I get my tree view settings. And right in here, I have my sample data. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to actually choose a record here, choose my test record, which I'm going to just go ahead and use the first opportunity record that I have as my test record. I go ahead and say OK. I can pick a highlight color. I can change it. I have it red, so it's kind of easier for you guys to see. And then I have a linked data limit set. Linked data limit I'll go into in just a second on what that actually is. But just remember that it's set to 3 for right now. Once I'm done with that, I'll hit OK. Thanks for a second. Pulls that data back and then actually puts it in there for me to view. So as you can see here, I still have these same fields, but for example, my actual close date for my test opportunity record is 2/7/2020. I have that information right there. I know that this actual close date has data in it. So if I add that and I run this against my test record, I should expect to be able to see that to the 2/7/2020 in my template, in my created document. This is really handy as you kind of go through it. You can actually see which fields actually contain data, and the ones that have that are not in red, they don't contain data. This is really going to help a lot. One of the things that is if you've created templates before, you think that especially when you're getting down here into some of these other linked entities here, like so these lookups here. You think you're picking the correct thing, address one country, you think you're picking the correct address type, you think you're picking the right thing, and then the stuff doesn't show up. But with this feature, you actually know what data is there, and you know what to pick, right? So here this street address actually contains data. The stuff actually contains data, so it's really, really helpful. Now, one thing of note here is when you actually turn this on, you're just turning it on for this one template, okay? So this is one of those features that I'm going to highly recommend, that when you are actually starting out, when you're creating a new template or you're working on another template, if this feature is not turned on, turn it on. Once you do that, that's stored. So every time you open it up, this will actually be shown for you. So you won't have to turn it on again for that particular template. But just start getting into the habit when you're creating a new template to go ahead and set it to your test record. Then it's going to make it a lot easier for you to create these documents and pull in the fields that you actually need to pull in. Again, this also works here on our for our standard fields. Also works for the additional fields, and this is where that comes into play. Remember, I told you to remember the one setting the I have to look it up again because I always forget it. The link data limit, how it's set to 3 onto the one-to-many and many-to-many relationships. As you can see right here, I have here, for example, this estimated close date. After that, I'm showing here the 10/25/2019, etc. on down the line. There's 3 of them here, and then this etc. Basically, what this is doing is it's going in, it's looking at that relationship, and it's pulling back the information from the top 3 records and putting that in there for me, okay? So you can adjust that. 3 is usually good for, what you want to see. You can see everything that you need to, but this is the information that you can expect from top 3 records that you're going to be showing based on this relationship. Again, you can adjust that to as many as you want, but like I said, we found that 3 is usually the most comfortable, the easiest to read, easiest to see. And that works for everything. It works for all your relationships as well. So everything that you kind of put in there. So again, very, very handy, very makes things simple, makes putting these things in there really, really easy. Really just a great feature. And it was a really nice surprise to see that. Was really excited to have that feature in this product now. Moving on, let's kind of go in and talk a little bit, do a little refresher here for those who may have not, because I saw a couple people are not familiar with Documents Core Pack. So I'm going to kind of just go over here to just a blank template here and just kind of show you a little bit here. So what we can do, you can see here that basically I can add these standard fields. These are just fields that are on my opportunity form. But also here, I'm able to create these complex relationships with Documents Core Pack. So for example, let's see here. Like if I wanted to have an opportunity and I wanted to list out on this opportunity report or whatever I was making this document for, if I wanted to list out every quote that was associated with this opportunity that are open right now, that are just active quotes, right? What I could do is go into our relationship designer, just go ahead and click to add a new relationship or entity. You're going to get our relationship designer. Most of y'all, if you're brand new and you've just installed it, it might show up like this. Okay, no need to worry. We're just going to start like this first, just so everyone can kind of see it. So what I'm going to do here is I want to define a relationship from the opportunity to the quotes. So what I do here is I go down and I just pick that one-to-many relationship to the quote. Okay. Then what happens here is I get all the information here from all my quote fields here. So I have here, my let's see here. What do I normally pick? The name of the quote. Let's see here, the potential customer. Let's see, what else do I do here normally? Let's see, the total amount, etc. You just pick and choose what fields you kind of want to bring in. All right. And then you would go ahead and click OK, and it would build that tree out. And then you could build those dynamic tables that you're used to seeing in Documents Core Pack. Another thing that I said before is what I want to do is I actually just want to see open quotes. This is where we go ahead and get over here to our advanced settings and go ahead and set a filter. And most of the time, what I'm doing here is I'm setting a static filter And this particular one, setting the filter is an and condition. So we'll add the attribute where it's just the status of the quote itself equals, and then here I need to put in the value of 1. The value of 1 is basically saying, like, I want to see all open quotes. This is something that we can include I have a link that I usually use that tells you like what all the statuses are, but the value of 1, what you're used to seeing is basically that means that it's an open quote or an active quote. Okay, so here I've set up, this is just basically, this is a static filter here. So this is normally what you're going to use. So here what'll happen is once I run this particular document and it's going to build out this dynamic table, it's actually just going to pull back. I may have an opportunity with 5 quotes in there and say only 2 of them are active right now. It's only going to pull back those 2 active ones, so it'll filter that out. And usually that's a lot of times this is all you really need. But sometimes you kind of need a little bit more. And this is where like the new the dynamic filtering comes into play here. Okay, so like for example here, let's take a look here. Let's see. This is my chart. This is it. Let's say, for example, what I'm wanting to do here is I've got this opportunity report. And what I want to do is show it a date range. A couple other examples of maybe what's a way that you want to do it is, like, for example, we've seen before where people have like a pick list. There's 3 settings in that pick list, and depending on what the user picks, they want to show a different, different things from this certain relationship that they have. Usually what they have to end up doing is they have to end up building out 3 templates or building out 3 dynamic tables with conditions and things of that nature in there to show and hide tables. Well, with this dynamic filtering, you actually no longer need that. So let me just grab this. Oh, what happened here? Did I say new? And let me just make sure I'm doing this right, because I don't want to mess my thing up. So what I can do here, for example, here is I can just grab let's say to my quote here, and I'm just going to go ahead and add another filter and add a condition here. And so anyway, I can pick from this particular list here. Let's see, I'm doing here the estimated close date. Oh, wait, this is wrong. Let me borrow this and this. I was doing this. So, and I'm picking here an opportunity because I want to look at all the opportunities that I have here. Hold on. Let me find it. Takes a little bit. There we go. It's opportunity. So what I want to do here is I want to add a filter again. So the attribute from the, let's see, the estimated close date, and the particular operator that I'd probably be using for this one, for this particular one, is on or after. So basically what this allows me to do, I could stick in a value here. I could stick in a date here. It would be a static date. That's really not going to help me, right? I mean, it's, as you can kind of see, like once I kind of merge this document, it'll be more clear. But here, basically, what I'm able to do is I'm able to select the dynamic filter, and then select either from the set of fields or from my user prompts that I've created. So now you're probably saying this, well, wait, now I understand the part with the fields, but how do I create these user prompts? How do I kind of do that? Well, I'm glad you asked that. This is really a simple thing to do. Basically here in the advanced template settings, and this is something that we've kind of gone over before in another webinar, so I'm just kind of breeze over this. In these advanced template settings, I have under here prompts. And what these prompts are actually is when the user is actually creating a document inside of Documents Core Pack using the Documents Core Pack dialog. What's going to happen is they're going to pick the template, and if these prompts are in place, it's going to prompt the user for an input. It's usually then we'll take that input, and we've used it before to where the user can actually, you can put these kind of fields in there, and we do different things like for text or a checkbox or a date time field, etc. And you can actually add those things into your Documents Core Pack template. You can add those as fields. You don't have to have that information stored into in Dynamics anywhere. That was the thought of prompts beforehand. But here, what we're doing here is I've got two prompts here, the start date and the end date, okay? And these are what I'm using there in the relationship to pass the start and end date, as a dynamic filter to my relationship query, So that's basically what I'm doing. So I'm setting up these prompts and then selecting them in this particular table. So let's see here. In this particular table, let me show you here. I have set up these two filters. The estimated close date is on or after the parameter is the start date, okay? And my estimated close date is on or before the parameter is the end date. So it's going to give me in between that date range, right? And it can be kind of anything. So that's basically how you kind of set these dynamic filters up. What it then looks like is let's go over here to Dynamics, to my opportunities here. And let's say, for example, in this case, this is, I'm going to a sales meeting. I need to know, we're kind of doing some forecasting, and I need to know what my estimated revenue is for the month of December. Okay. So that's pretty easy to do now that I've set up this awesome opportunity report. Excuse me. So I'm going ahead and pick my awesome opportunity report so that I'm ready when I get into the meeting, so I'm able to share this data. So I'm looking for the month of December here. I'm going to go ahead and pick that. Okay. And then I'm going to pick my end date is December 31st, right? So this is going to give me just the month of December. I'll hit next. It's going to read that information out. Okay. I'm just going to do a PDF, print it off real quick. So read that information out, and then I have my opportunity report. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. So here up top, basically what I've done is I've shown you the data set that I'm working with. These are all my opportunities that I'm pulling back from Dynamics here. So you can see there's old ones here. There's from 2019. I probably should close that one, etc. So I have a list of all my opportunities and all my estimated close dates and estimated revenues here. Again, I have a chart. Another thing, this is charting. This is another thing that we can do with this. So I have my chart here of my estimated revenue over the course of these 4 years here. But where it gets really interesting is when I pull it down to here, and these are my opportunities now from that same data set using the dynamic filter between the dates of the 1st of December and the 31st of December. As you can see here, it pulls out, I have 4 open opportunities. My estimated revenue is the following here. And the other thing that I've done is I've taken that data and I put it into a chart so that it's easy to know, so that when Michael asks me, when do you expect, well, on what weeks do you expect these to close and how much do you expect? I can look and I can say, on week 51, I'm expecting $37,000. Week 52, I'm looking at $30,000 of incoming revenue. And at week 53, I'm thinking $25,000 of revenue. I'm thinking that's going to come in. Michael says that's all fine and great and everything like that. But what about, let's talk about the first of the year. Let's talk about the month of January and February. What do you expect for that? Well, luckily enough, I can do that. I can do that really, really quickly. It just depends on how fast I can click, how fast I can go through. So I can pick here January 1st. I can come down and pick February 28th, say next, print out a real quick PDF of this. Pull that information back, open this up, scroll on down to my opportunities. You can see here, same data set, but just pulling back for the month of January and February of next year. I have 3 opportunities, and you can see in week 4, I'm expecting to pull in 37 grand. And week 8, that's in February, $10,000. And, that's, so looking at this, I definitely need to fill up that February pipeline. I need to pull that info. I need to pull some more opportunities in, So this is where dynamic filtering really helps a lot, especially like in the reporting thing. You can focus in on the data that you need to focus in, and it just you can. I'm just a, I'm just a tech, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys who are good at this and know a lot about charting and know a lot about pulling these things together have a lot better ideas than I do. But this is kind of what I came up with, and this is something that would be helpful for me, So that's basically the two new features that we wanted to show. Let me come back to here. Oh, wait. Let me back this up one time. And this is why I said before that we're going to be sending you a link for the actual webinar itself, and also there's the slides as well. As you can see, there's a couple helpful resources here: how to set up dynamic filters in Documents Core Pack templates, how to define the user prompts, goes more in depth into what I did, actually how to do it, and also adding charts. So show you how to add those charts into your Documents Core Pack things. So with the combination of these things, it really strengthens Documents Core Pack as a reporting tool. So you can kind of get away from things of that nature. You can just do this kind of stuff on your own. A couple of things that we do need to highlight on here. It is available now, but if you want to use it, you definitely need to check to make sure that your Documents Core Pack server is on 2020-105. I'm going to go ahead and say that most of you are probably on 2020-100, so you will need to upgrade. Once you get the slides, you'll be able to check on how to do it. And the Documents Core Pack client is actually out now. So this is actually required for using the dynamic filtering feature. If you have the Documents Core Pack client, it's the latest on our website. If you haven't updated in a while, then more than likely you don't have this, so update. And that has the data preview feature already in it. All this stuff is already in this client. So once you download that and install it, you should be good to go. So I want to thank everybody for coming today.